Hi everyone, my name is Lily Dawson and welcome to our brand new online video series entitled HI Presents. HI Presents takes an inside look into Hollywood through the eyes of the professionals that make Hollywood work. We'll talk about business, we'll talk about success, we'll talk about failure, we'll talk about triumph, and we'll talk about how you can create possibilities for yourself. We'll also take a candid look at the inner workings of LA and see what artists are up against as they try to break through the Hollywood machine. Enjoy.
Ooh, felt so good when you looked my way. Take me down on the floor, baby, say my name. Let's get ooh. Let's get ooh. Let's get
Dave, it's so great to see you again. Thank you so much for being here. Would you like to give us an introduction to who you are?
Sure. I'm Dave Blomsterberg. I'm a professional results coach for personal and for business, and I help people really achieve what they want in any part of their life. So whether that's in their health, whether that's in their relationships, it could be in their finances, their business, changing careers, increasing their income, whatever it is. And most importantly, for a lot of people, it's finding their purpose in life and what they really want to be doing and going after something that's very meaningful, that's going to give them absolute fulfillment in their life. So I do that through one-on-one coaching. I also do it through workshops. I also do speaking events and so forth. I've been doing this professionally for 8 years, and previous to that, I was an executive in the music industry for a number of years. So I really was coaching and mentoring for about 35 years, but professionally just in this realm for the last 8 years, and I've coached over thousands of people in over 30 countries. So I love what I get to do.
That's amazing. Dave, tell us why mindset is so absolutely important and imperative to have moving forward to achieve your dreams.
It's number one. It's key, because you have to be able to come to any situation with being clear about what you want to go and achieve, but you also got to come from a place of, the belief, because and that's usually what stops people the most is they have the ideas, they have the vision, they're excited about it, yet they've got all these reasons why they can't get there. And the belief behind it is number one. Believe it or not, the action's pretty easy for people. They don't realize that at the beginning because they get stuck in how it's going to take them there and how long it's going to take them to get there. But when they just get clear about what they want and they have a belief that it's possible, it just takes one step to make it real, and then another and another. So having your mindset completely empowered with you is the number one thing to get you to where you want to go.
Super important. So it's key.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you achieve the right mindset if you what do you do? What are some key things that you can do to make that more a part of your life?
Well, I think it's a matter of being able to ditch old stories.
Yes.
Because a lot of people come to their life, well, we all do. We adopt our beliefs. We get them from our parents. We get them from, sometimes it's from religious backgrounds for some people, coaches, teachers, siblings, friends, partners, and we really adopt these beliefs from all these different places in our life. And some of them are great. Some of them we take with us and we're like, great, I'll use this one. And then some of them are not so great. And they really kind of damage people for a long time, because then they start making it their identity, like this is who they are. They're not capable. If they were brought up with, you're never going to be able to amount to anything, some people have a mechanism to say, watch me, and they'll turn it around and use it to their advantage. And some people will take it on and use that as, oh, they're right. So they're really taking on somebody else's belief system that has nothing to do with them. So it's a matter of changing it. And that's the big thing. How do you change it? Well, you take a story and you look at what it did for you instead of to you. And you really put a new meaning to it. You can't change the past of what happened, but you can certainly change the meaning to it to use it to your advantage now. So I take every single challenge that I've ever had in my life, and I look at what it did for me, and I use it as fuel. I use it as a way to, sometimes it's the opposite of what happened, to use it to your advantage. And that is going to be the key to be able to change that. And you have to be able to say, well, even if you just come up with a question, what would I need to believe to be able to achieve this? Okay, I need to believe it's possible. It could be that simple. Well, what's something I did before in the past that maybe I didn't know was possible, but I didn't know if I can get there, but I believe it was possible, and I just took one action towards it. And that took me forward, and you just kept moving forward and forward. It just takes that one step. You don't have to know all the way to get there. You just have to believe it's possible, because that belief will help you take action. The non-belief is going to keep you from doing anything.
It's going to stop you in your tracks.
Yeah, it keeps you paralyzed.
Yeah, great. Let's say my family puts so much pressure on me. They don't understand acting, they don't understand music, they don't understand me. I'm an individual. I wish people would just let me do my own thing. Can you please talk around that and what people can do if they're in that situation?
And that's a great question, because many people are in that situation. Sometimes it's families that have naysayers, that they don't believe they can. And sometimes, to your point, it's just they don't understand, how are you going to be successful when you're supposed to go to college and get a 9-to-5 job and just do it traditional way? The thing is that's the parents' belief. If you just see the parents' intention or the people's intention, it's what they feel is best. It's their model of the world. You may not be able to convince them your model of the world, and you don't need to. It really comes down to, it's just not your business what other people think of you, including your family, in a nice way. They may get it, you can express it, and if they don't, it's simply being able to say, look, you may not understand where I'm coming from, but this is what works for me. You have to have the strength and the courage to be able to march to the beat of your drum, and not always needing your parents' or family's validation that it's okay to do it. You can't expect other people to see your visions when they can't see them for themselves. It's like talking to somebody from a family, let's say a parent, and they were brought up in the Great Depression, okay? Or they were brought up where money was very scarce. So their belief is, we need a lot of certainty, so we need to go out and get a job, and you make money, and this is how you do it. Only a few people do it that other way, and I don't think you can do that, because I can't see me doing that.
Of course.
So what happens is now you're taking on the belief of your parent, but your parent's intention is just to protect you. So you got to know what their intention is, but it doesn't mean you take it on, because you're a different personality type that wants variety or wants to go for the moon and shoot for the stars. And you got to believe in yourself to do that. And you can't expect other people to have that same belief when they don't have it for themselves. So don't talk to those people about it. Talk to people that are where you want to be, that have a similar belief system that will help you take you where you want to go.
If I don't have, let's say, a lot of those people around me, if I'm somebody that sort of, if I just don't have that network, what do you suggest I do?
Find some people. There's people all over the world that, with the power of the internet now, you can actually join mastermind groups. You could join meetup groups. There's a lot of these type of groups out there right now where you can find other people that are like-minded like yourself, because your peer groups are really important. And I want to be clear about this, because it's not getting caught up in comparing yourself with other people like, oh, this person did it, so they're better than me, and then you kind of derail yourself. No, utilize other people that are where you want to be to learn from and to grow from, but to make sure that, and there's people, find one person, Google people that are where you want to be. Even if you don't know them, you could read about them, find out what they did. But it really is about making sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that are basically going in the direction that you're going. If you want that support, don't waste your time talking to people that can't see the vision.
Right. What's the point?
And they may not see it. Don't blame them for it, but don't try to get validation from them either.
Yeah, great. So Dave, let's say I totally get what you're saying, and I'm trying really hard to make it work for me. And it's been 1 year, it's been 2 years, I'm up to my 5th year, and I'm still not 100% in the flow like I need to be. What suggestion would you have for somebody that is having that problem or in that situation?
Well, first of all, you got to detach from the outcome. Because if you're too caught up in it's got to be this, it's got to be that, then you're working against your own clock, and you're really having a hard time trying to see something and trying to make something happen, and you're too attached to what that is. At the end of the day, if you look and say, wait a minute, what is it that this is going to get me? What is this going to do for me by achieving, let's say, the goal that they're trying to get to, whether it's landing a role on a TV show, a film, what have you. Generally, it's always going to make me feel fulfilled. It's going to make me feel happy, excited. It's a feeling. That's what people are going after. Everybody on this planet, every single goal we go after, it's a feeling. Get to the feeling first. Every day be committed to the feeling. If everybody on this planet every day committed to being happy, feel fulfilled, to feel good, keep it that simple every day. What do you do to feel good every day? Well, we could all do that. Whether you exercise, move your body, focus on what you're grateful for, what you have, do things that you like that nurtures your soul, whether it's reading a book, walking on the beach, walking in nature, whatever it is that fills you up, that makes you feel that, that's all you're going after for that thing anyways. If you do that first and not wait until that happens, you're gonna be in a better state of mind. That better state of mind makes you more resourceful. That resourcefulness will help you make better decisions, have better ideas, and be more committed to the reasons why you're doing what you're doing, not the goal itself. Know what you're going after so you know what actions to take, and you might need to re-strategize. You might need to, basically take a step back and see if there's some other options that you could be taking down that road. Of course, you've got to take the action. But if you're committed to what this is about for you, which is generally going to be about fulfillment, happiness, helping other people have some joy and entertainment, be committed to what that is and you'll get there. It may take, don't put a time clock on it. Put the time on it just as a reference so you know what actions that you need to be taking along the way to kind of keep moving. But if you come from that mindset of, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Because it's not about that end thing, it's going to be great, but once you get there, there's going to be something else. Yeah. But if you enjoy what you're doing along the way,
it's a happier journey.
It is. I mean, and I know it sounds a little cliche, but it's the truth. I mean, every day it's like, you don't get this day again. It's gone after today. So enjoy the process. Go into an audition, you're living it, you're doing it, it's real. Enjoy that. Don't wait until something else has to happen. If you do, you're going to land more roles. You're going to get to places that you want to get to more by being happy first.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Dave, so do you wake up happy every day? Is it hard for you to maintain every day? Do you have bad days?
That's a great question. I don't look at things as good and bad. I really don't. I ditch good, bad, right, wrong. It's just what it is. Sometimes I may be in a mood that's uncomfortable or lower energy. Absolutely. Okay. I'm not walking around flying on air all day, all the time. But the difference is that I make sure I can correct it very quickly when I want to. So if something comes up for me that's not really serving me, I just have ways of asking myself better questions to move myself into a better state of mind. And I really do. I mean, I use a very simple acronym throughout my day, and I call it 98% GO. I look at the 98% of what's working in my life, and I focus on the appreciation of the gratitude in that situation. In fact, if something that feels challenging to me, because I don't get every outcome, I don't get every goal, I don't hit it all the time either, but I look at what it did for me to learn from it, to grow from it, to where something even better can come from it. And because I faced many challenges in my life, and I've been through, we all have stories, yes. It's not what's worse or better, but I've been through plenty of challenges, but they all led me to something better. If you think that way, you'll create it that way. It's that simple. But what happens to too many people is they stay stuck in it. So there's going to be sadness. There's going to be pain in life. That's just real. There's going to be challenges in life. The difference is that I'm not willing to suffer in it. I'll basically allow myself to have it, but I'm going to move on from it to be able to change it. Yeah. And that's the difference.
Yeah. So Dave, unfortunately in the world, as we all know, there's some not so favorable things happening, and it is a bit of a scary and a trying time. How does one constantly try and remain positive and push their lives forward and keep looking for the bright side when all these crazy things are happening in the world?
Well, this is where the 98% GO comes into play for me. See, I look at it, we could look at the 98% of what's working in life or the 2% of what's not. And generally the news is the 2%. That's real. There's stuff going on out there. There's no doubt about it. But they don't tell you about the 98% of the people that are doing amazing things, that are changing lives, that are helping people, that are going to work, earning an honest living, going for their dreams, volunteering, helping, pitching in. There's a lot of great things going on, but they don't capture enough of that. Pay attention to what you listen to, pay attention to what you watch, and pay attention to what you read, what you put into your mind, because that's what's going on. And what too much fear is being sold. Too much fear is being sold.
So much.
So I don't watch that. So whatever we look for, we find. As human beings, we always prove ourselves right. There's no difference of an optimist and a pessimist in my world. We all prove ourselves right. It's what do you want to look for? I'm going to look for what's working. And because of that, I find that. I attract that all the time. I always find somebody will see a situation, like same situation, and they'll find the negativity in it, but that's what they're looking for. I'm looking for what's working constantly. So that's what I find. That's what I choose to experience. I don't have blinders on. I know when something else might be happening right around me, but I'm going to choose to see, even when it comes to other people. When you see the best in you, it's easy to see the best in others. So the key is to look for the best in you always, and that is the key to all success. When everybody can really see the best in themselves and not judge themselves, because that's probably the most limiting belief this world has is I'm not enough. I'm not enough. And when you feel enough, you'll find enough in other people, and you'll start experiencing that with them. And you'll find what will start coming your way. It'll start to shift and change. It sounds, sometimes for people, that sounds airy-fairy, but it works. It works. I mean, if you think about it, things that you've ever achieved in your life, you thought about it, you believe it was possible, you move forward. Things that you choose to enjoy, you create a great experience. If you're looking for what's not working in a situation, you'll find it. So just choose what you want to look for.
Dave, there's something to be said for throwing yourself into the unknown and having faith and conviction to just go, I'm going to do that. Can we talk around that and what your thoughts are about that?
Absolutely. That, to me, is probably the biggest thing that keeps people from actually progressing, because they play the what-if game. Well, but what if this doesn't work out? What if this doesn't happen? What if I go down this path and I lose all my money, or I get rejected, and all the limiting beliefs and stories and fears that people tend to have, and it's about the unknown. And when you play with that, many people will just keep themselves standing still. And what generally comes out of that is, at the bottom line, I'm afraid of failing. And really, when you're coming from a place of fear, you're already living the fear. So by not doing anything, that's the only failure. And that's also for people to understand what really their definition of failure is. My definition of failure is simply not attempting to do something you want to do. It's not about the outcome. I wish I could promise everybody's going to get their outcome. I haven't seen anybody that's gotten every outcome they want, but it could be even better. And that's the beautiful part of it. So to really conquer that is to take some of I always ask people, what is your most difficult situation you've ever faced in your life? What is the most darkest hour you've ever had? Even traumatic situations. So when they share with me, sometimes it's the losing of a loved one. Sometimes maybe it was a bankruptcy. Maybe it was, they lost all their money, they lost their house or what have you, or they got a divorce. There could be, some of those type of situations that come up. And I said, okay, let's go down that path. Now, it's not denying, we're not pretending that was painful or sad, difficult. That's just real. But the difference is, once again, if you put a new meaning behind it and say, what did it do for you? So let's look at it now. When you look back at that situation, what did you learn from that? How did you grow from that? Or how did you become better or stronger or create something better for your life because of it? And everybody will always have an answer. And if it's, let's say, the passing of a loved one, well, how could you honor that person because of that? Well, maybe I'm going to live full out because of it, and I want to honor in that way. You'll always find a reason. You'll be able to see that something better came from it. When you look for it, you find it. And when you look at it from that perspective and say, okay, so I use this is the phrase that I use. I trust, I accept, I let go, and I embrace the unknown. I trust, it's having trust and faith. Having trust and faith, whatever that is, whether that's about you, whether that's a creator if you believe in some, or the universe, whatever your belief is, but having trust and faith in something outside of you.
Massive.
And then accepting what is in that moment. Letting go of the control of how it has to look and how it has to be. Because when you try to control it is when you're out of control. When you're able to let it go of the control is when you're actually in control emotionally. And embrace the unknown, the unseen. Basically, you're saying, I'm going to embrace the uncertainty here, period. I'm going to jump into the net based on what you know. So the second part is, I say ... knowing. In my case, knowing that everything always works out, and even better. Through a bankruptcy I've been through, a divorce I've been through, many things that I've been through, everything was better because of those situations for me. And many people, everybody I work with tells me the same. They always have an answer of how it worked out better. So I'm like, well, if you can face your darkest hours and see how they've taken you to something better in life, then then just trust this moment right now that no matter what
Absolutely.
it is, it's going to keep taking you to something even better, no matter what the answer is. And if you think that way again, you'll create that way. And that, to me, because that's the biggest fear people have, the fear of losing something, the fear of not having something, and the fear of having less of something. So when you completely embrace that and and even face that fear in that moment, like, well, let's take the worst case scenario in this situation. What would that be? Well, I guess I would I guess worst case scenario is I wouldn't be able to be on TV in 5 years and they wouldn't like me and this and that. Okay, let's just say that happens. What would you do every time? Well, I guess I would just keep working at it and find some better places or find some other resources or do some better classes. Great, do that now. So it's like instead of waiting for that, start creating that now. But you could see you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And that's not even going to happen if you keep going down that path anyhow. But it helps you just move forward, because when you have that sense of that's true, to me that's true inner peace. When you have that sense of peace inside that everything's okay no matter what's going to happen,
right.
then that allows you to just play full out and play big in life.
Wonderful. Dave, it's just so wonderful to have you here today, and just for you to share all your wisdom with us, and and I know that your message is going to go a long way with a lot of people, and it does, and I've seen it. And thank you. It's been great to have you.
It's my honor. I appreciate that you create this platform the way you're doing to show up to be able to help all these people, and just thank you. It's an honor to work with you, Lily.
Thank you.